What is up, you guys? Welcome to the collective. My name is Furman, and I know it has been a while.
It's been a while.
It has been a long while. It's been almost like a month since I made a video. I mean, I don't really include the Death Stranding video as a video because it's not a regular video that I normally make, which is just me and you talking. That was more of an unboxing, and that was a special case. We unboxed it on the beach. It went crazy. It was pretty amazing. Actually, it was a lot of fun to shoot that video. But here we are back again in the studio, and we are talking about none other than the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, as you guys already know, I've had this thing for about a month now. A little over a month now that I'm thinking about it. And I have so many things to say about it. But before we get into that, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content just like this. Alright, without any further ado, let's get into it. The Nintendo Switch 2 has officially been out for a little over a month now, and there's never been a console that has been more divisive, a fan base that's been more divided than the Switch 2. There are people that love it, I kind of fall in that category, but then there are also people that kind of hate it. And I kind of understand the reason why they think that, and it's not necessarily because of the console, it's more so because of the choices that Nintendo made.
Yup.
Now let's just get all the negative stuff out of the way and talk about the fact that there are a few things that I really do hate about it. For one, the battery life is just really bad. I mean, you might as well call this Ava Unit 1 because you have to be tethered to an umbilical cord, okay? You absolutely have to be plugged in at all times or this thing will die. So, the people like myself who prefer to play games undocked, we're kind of suffering, We're kind of suffering. I'm lucky because I already had a charging cable set up like right next to my couch where I normally play my Switch 2. So it's not that big of a deal, but it is really unfortunate that you kind of do have to be plugged in all the time. I mean, the battery drains in like a little over an hour, like an hour and a half, and your battery is just done, especially if you're playing the big games. Like I've been playing Cyberpunk, and which looks interesting. It looks really good, surprisingly good, but I've been playing Cyberpunk, and man, the battery doesn't last more than an hour. Like, it is just really bad. It doesn't heat up, which is kind of nice. I would at least hope that the console wouldn't get completely annihilated by this gigantic game, so that is a plus. But man, it just sucks having to be plugged in all the time. And that's the thing too, if it was just big games, like the big blockbuster AAA games, the Zeldas, the Marios, Smash Bros, Mario Kart, Cyberpunk, if it was only those games that were, taking up a bunch of your battery percentage, that would make sense because they're high intensity, they're like really big games, and they're very taxing and demanding on the Switch too. But it kind of just feels like any game is like that. Like a lot of the older Switch games, a lot of the retro ones, I mean, even the GameCube, the Nintendo Switch GameCube emulator thing they got going on, even that drains battery like crazy. So the battery life is just not very good when it comes to this thing, and it is really unfortunate. The other thing that I am not a big fan of is the screen. Now, you would think that Nintendo, just hit a home run with this thing when it comes to the screen because of how gigantic and how awesome it is. I mean, it really does have really good tech. For one, it's a 1080p HDR screen, which is, I was hoping we would get something like that, but I didn't think we were actually going to get it. So it's amazing. It does all of that stuff, and it does 120 hertz. That is insane. So these things are really good, and they make the Switch 2 feel like a true upgrade, a true successor. But the one argument I was in favor of Nintendo doing, which was the OLED screen, I didn't think it was necessary, But now that we have this thing, it's absolutely necessary. It is just truly unfortunate to see that they didn't put a better LCD screen in. They just put one of those basic regular mid ones, and it gets the job done. And for what Nintendo does, like the majority of the Nintendo games are big and colorful and bright, so it doesn't really matter. Like Mario Kart, no issues at all. But if you play like Metroid Dread or things like that, like Cyberpunk 2, which is obviously I've been playing, but Cyberpunk, it has a lot of blacks and a lot of dark colors. It does kind of suffer. It does kind of suffer, which is really unfortunate. But if I had to choose, this screen versus OLED and it being 60 frames or 60 hertz and not HDR, honestly, I think this is the better option, just because of the fact that the majority of the Nintendo games don't even really need all of that. So I don't know. I guess I'm just playing devil's advocate with myself right now. It's not bad, but man, it could be better. And if they do a couple years down the line decide to come out with an OLED version, I think that's really where a lot of people are going to jump in. I think they figure out how to make the battery life better, just like they did with the original Switch. Maybe bring themes back or something like that. There's 2 or 3 years down the line, there's going to be more games. It'll be more of an enticing console to the people that were kind of iffy about it and didn't really want to jump in. I think it'll make sense for them at that point. And yeah, we're gonna struggle to get this thing. I do think it is crazy that there was a lot of hate going on online. There was a lot of hate going on online. There was a lot of people that were saying that the Switch 2 was going to fail, that it wasn't going to succeed, it wasn't going to do good. And there's a lot of valid criticism. Like the game key cards are absolutely atrocious, and I still hate them, and I have not purchased a single one. That's the proof, by the way. I don't know if you can see that, but these are the Switch games that I have so far, until Donkey Kong comes out. These are the Switch 2 games that I have. So no key cards whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I would buy a Switch key card game if it was like heavily discounted. If it was like 10 or 20 bucks, I might do it. Because at that point, the money's not even going to Nintendo anymore. Somebody else already paid for it and supported that nonsense. So yeah, there is a lot of things that are valid criticism, and it's really annoying about the Switch 2. But I mean, it almost feels like that's not what was going on. The Switch 2 is selling out like crazy. I mean, it is in stock for a couple hours at most. Every time I go to the store or whenever I go to GameStop, I always like going to the electronics sections and looking at what they got going on, and really they only ever have like 1 or 2, and it's gone like within an hour or so. Like it's just it's selling really good. And I think that is a testament to like the true Nintendo fans, the people that are willing to give the Switch 2 a chance because they see that the benefits far outweigh the liabilities when it comes to this. And this is what I've been saying. I mean, it's an amazing console. In my opinion, it does feel like a true successor. And I get it. People say, oh, it's not a true successor because it's not something that's vastly different like what Nintendo typically does. I understand that. However, in light of the success that the Switch had, it would not make any sense for Nintendo to literally go out and just completely start, with a completely different console. I don't think that Nintendo should just exclusively make hybrid consoles anymore, but I think this one, for what it's done, for what the Switch did, it just makes a lot of sense. And I'm super excited to see what's going to come next. Mario Kart World is an amazing game. I mean, all of the Zelda games are upgraded, and we're getting like all of the big first-party Nintendo games are all getting upgrades, whether it's just 60 frames or, 4K patches or bigger upgrades like, what Mario Party Jamboree is getting or like what Kirby's getting, you know, where it's, you know, it's a little more expensive, it's a little bit bigger of an upgrade, but you know, they're adding value to it as they see fit. Yeah, it's just crazy. I've been enjoying my Switch 2 a lot. I've been mostly just exclusively playing on my Switch 2. Like, that's pretty much all I've been playing. Okay, I lied. I have been playing Death Stranding 2. I mean, but that game just looks absolutely unbelievable. I mean, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous game. The game almost looks like real life, if we're being honest. And then, you know, the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 came out, so I did play that. I have been playing that a little bit. But other than that, everything else is on the back burner. And, you know, I'm just running through these games. I think I'm like halfway through Cyberpunk now. I'm almost to the point where I'm going to be Tears of the Kingdom, which I haven't even done. Time is running out, and there's just so many games to play and so little time. I don't know if that made sense, but it made sense to me. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and as always, do not forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content just like this. Oh, and don't forget to let me know in the comment section, okay? Let me know whether you pick the Switch 2 up or you're kind of just waiting until it feels like it's actually worth picking up now. And you know, if you did pick it up, let me know what you've been playing. Please tell me that you did not buy any key cards, okay? Please tell me you didn't do that. Alright guys, peace.